Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You know, truth really does matter, and I'm here to spill it out for you right now. We've been talking about mortgages, but before we get started, let's go ahead and give you the options on how you can listen to us. All the social media sites, I'm with every one of them. Also, you can find us on the radio at iecradio.media. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundant Television found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast at thenewscasters.com. Okay, mortgages. Yeah, I'm just begging you. So on the last segment, last hour or 30 minutes, we were talking about how to pay off your mortgage really fast. So let's go ahead and do a quick recap on that. Then I'm going to get into a session about, should I do it? I'm going to say, yeah, you should do it. But let's say, even if it is $10 a month, every little bit will happen. It'll help. So here's what you can do. Put extra each month. Just pay a little bit. Like I said, if it's only $10, put $10 towards it. The best thing to do, though, is figure out, let's say you make a payment of $900 a month. Okay, and just scrounge just a little bit. I promise you can save it. Save $100. This is the best way to do it. So save an extra $100 per month, make a total payment of $1,000 a month instead of $900. Then what I want you to do, you're going to trick your own self, and you're tricking the system too. So then what you're going to do is divide that in half. So $500, pay it on the first of the month, and then on the 15th of the month, say about middle month, pay the other $500. You're not only paying an extra $100 per month, you are also adding an additional extra payment per month. So, I mean, you are really going for it when you do it this way. So not only are you paying extra, you're also paying another extra payment per month. So what you're actually paying is about a payment and a half per month when you do it that way. Do it. You're tricking your system, plus you're getting yourself set on a budget. That's the best way to do it. And anything else, going ahead and do that, which also leads into the pay bi-weekly, which you're paying, half your mortgage. If you only want to do it that way, if your mortgage is $900 a month, $450 on the first of the month, and then on or when the mortgage is due, going ahead and make the other half of it at the second part of the month. You'll be glad you did, and you're going to shave thousands of dollars off of mortgage, off of that interest. Okay, let's say make an extra mortgage payment per year. Just deliberately at the end of the year, you're just going to make an extra mortgage payment. Refinance with a shorter term mortgage, you can do that. Just kind of put the numbers to it, and there are so many calculators on the internet that you can Google that'll help you do that as well. Recast your mortgage. I had never heard of that before, but that sounds like a good idea. So let's kind of go over that one more time. So recasting your mortgage is an excellent way to lower the monthly payment while keeping your interest rate and avoiding the fees that come with refinancing. So recasting usually charges fees around $200 to $300, and it involves paying a lump sum towards the principal amount. The lender then modifies your amortization schedule to reflect that new balance. It's a good idea to lower the payment without changing the interest rate. So that's a good thing to do. You could do loan modification. Let's say you owe a whole lot of money on credit cards, and maybe the mortgage payment is, say, 3% or 5%. But man, the credit card payment is probably like 18% or even more. There's some that are like 25%. Can you imagine that? It'll take you forever to get that paid off, and you're going to be paying so much on interest when you do that. So what you could try to do, you got to be paying your bills on time now. Talk to the bank and say, look, can you remodify my loan, and I owe however much money on this credit card. Can you combine that? And then that way I'll get the credit card paid off. I promise I won't use it again. And then and then you'll go ahead and be saving yourself a lot of interest. That's going to help you out there as well. And which also ties in to paying off other debts. So that's going to work. What you want to do when you're paying off your debts, you definitely want to pay off whatever the highest interest rate is. And a lot of times you have two mortgages. A lot of times that first mortgage is attainable, but then you get a second mortgage maybe to do some repairs or whatever to the house, and you're paying higher interest. So if you want to like really go for paying off one faster, choose the one with the highest rate, even though it may be the smaller loan. Who knows? So anyway, you'll do that. You'll see that you're saving yourself a lot of money. A lot of times people can just downsize their home, and maybe you're an empty nester. You don't need 4,000 square feet anymore, and you can move into a smaller house. And probably you bought that house back a long time ago, so you'd be able to make a profit and pay cash on another one and put some money in the bank. That might be another source for you there as well. Make sure you consult a trusted real estate agent to do that. Somebody who's been in the business a long time. And by the way, a successful one that's really easy to check out now on the internet. And then also there's a method called do-it-yourself method. This is where you're very frugal. You budget everything. Going down to buying a pack of cigarettes. How much am I spending? Sometimes you spend money on stuff and you don't realize you're doing it. And so maybe you spent too much money going to the movies. You go to the movies every weekend. Oh man, that can add up to a lot of money. Maybe cut it down. Instead of going every weekend, you go once a month. You're still getting your entertainment, but you're cutting it back. And I'm going to tell you what, the more you cut back on things like that, the more you appreciate the one time you go. That's what Phil and I do on desserts. So what we're doing is we're trying our best to cut down on desserts through the week, and then we'll treat ourselves to a dessert on the weekend. So I mean, treat yourself. It'll be more of a treat. Okay, now should you pay off your mortgage faster? This is a question that you should be asking yourself. This depends on the interest rate for your mortgage. Now, higher interest rates incentivize homeowners to accelerate that payoff process rather than accrue excessive interest. Mortgage rates are climbing, so refinancing may not be a great option for those who already locked into a decent rate. Now, they have broken down some bullet points of things to consider when deciding whether to pay off your mortgage early. Okay, so in order, the consideration should be, can I eliminate the debt owed on any loan with a higher mortgage rate than my mortgage? So go ahead and do that first. So in other words, you got two mortgages. We're going to talk about that again. I'm looking at the clock. I want to make sure I don't run out of time. So you got two mortgages. We used that for an instance just a few minutes ago. So the first one is a decent mortgage rate, but the second one is not. It could be double what you're paying on that first one. You want to think about paying, again, that second mortgage off and getting that out of the way, even though it's probably a slower or lower loan amount. So do that one first. Now, another consideration can be this. Am I better off funding my retirement? Funding an IRA or a 401k is a necessity that cannot be overlooked. You want to talk again to a very seasoned person who has been in the financial market for a really long time, somebody who's seen the ups and the downs, and even though it's not, you can't predict those ups and downs. You don't know how long it's going to last. That's absolutely impossible thing to do. But talk to someone that you can trust. Okay, do I have an emergency fund? Now, the pandemic proves anything can happen. So having enough money aside in case you lose your job is definitely essential, okay? One thing that I was always told when I was in the corporate world, they would say, you need to always have at least 3 months of money saved just in case something happens. It could be something that's totally out of your control. It could be the company you're working for, just they go bankrupt and they decide not to go back into business again. Oh man, a lot of things are happening these days, we didn't think would ever happen. A lot of people have been trying to make their business work since the pandemic. They may just get tired of it and just decide to close the business down. I mean, that could happen. So you need to think about those things. Have an emergency fund. Okay, now another question you can ask yourself is, if I have children, am I better off funding a college savings account for them or paying down a low interest mortgage? The interest is almost always funding the college, an investment in your children's future, and it's a tax benefit for you. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Now, what if I lose in a tax write-off? What if I lose in a tax write-off if I eliminate my mortgage? Okay, now this is where it gets really kind of complicated, but it isn't hard to figure out. So take your last year's tax return and see your tax liability within that mortgage write-off. It may show that keeping the low interest mortgage is worth the benefit better than a larger tax refund. I say yeah. You know, a lot of folks, and we're going to get back into this, we're going to a break in just a couple of minutes, but a lot of folks will say, you know, I'm going to have my, and I'm just going to tell you why. I don't believe this, okay? So I don't believe that this works. A lot of folks say, well, I'm going to have more money taken out of my check because I'm going to get a bigger refund. I've never seen that I got all that money back. I just never have seen it. It seems as like there's always something built into the tax laws where you put an extra, say, $50 per month. You know, you do without that so that you think that you get back more at the end of the year. I've never seen it. I never have. It seems like there's something built into the tax codes on that. Okay, now let's see. Another one, two more, and then we're going into a break. Once I am otherwise debt-free, is my interest rate high enough that applying the extra payment to principal or refinancing is worth it? The old rule of thumb was that reducing the interest rate by 2% made a difference. As the loan amount increases, that number may drop to 1%. Now the last one, then we're going into a break, I promise. Okay, let me go ahead and start that up. Okay. Now interest rates are rising, so if you plan to refinance, look into your options now before those rates climb any further. The sooner you look into it, the better. When was the best time to refinance? 2 years ago. That was when the best time. But did we know that? No, we had no idea. That's why I'm saying be super careful what you do, okay? Listen to someone that you can trust. And also, if somebody's giving you this pie in the sky kind of a talk right there, you better beware of that person. They're looking at something that's going to benefit them other than you. So be really super careful about a financial advisor. Make sure, again, it's someone you can trust. Let's go into a commercial break. We're going to be right back in just a minute.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256 996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdy.lawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers.
At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
My Towels solved the problem that we've all had with towels. You go into the stores and they feel lotiony and soft, but then you get them home and they wind dry you. That's why I made My Towels. They actually work, they're soft, and they absorb. And now I'm excited to announce 2 brand new lines of My Towels. What makes them the best towels ever is they're now made with 100% long staple Shapir cotton. This is a combed ring spun cotton that makes My Towels even softer and more absorbent than ever. And now you get a 6-piece set for an amazing introductory sale price as low as $29.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get My Towels for only $29.98. Or you can get my designer premium line for just $20 more. Either way, you save 50% now on all My Towels. They actually work. What a concept. This offer won't last long, so please order now.
MyPillow.com.
Good afternoon. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. You may find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast now, thenewscasters.com. And also you can find us on the radio at iacradio.media, iacradio.media. Thank you so much for being with us today. We're talking about mortgages, and I'm all out there about saving money, and I know you are too. And a lot of us just work. We don't know what's going to happen with the economy. We're all freaking out. We don't know it's the year 2024. What's going to happen? Best thing you can do is just be in control of your world, okay? Don't worry about outside influences, okay? Don't worry about what some person is telling you on the news. You know, we're all headed towards, whatever the end of the earth we're heading. You need to think about your family and your finances right now. And some of these things are pretty easy to do. We haven't been taught this in school. I would love, and Eubank is running for office. And so I told her, I said, I would like to see if you can get into the school system, the state school. There she is right there, State School Board District 3. If you can get into that, can you see if you can get the schools to teach something on finances? I'm talking Simple Simon stuff as to what a debit and what a credit is. In other words, you shouldn't spend more than you're bringing in, because the government actually teaches that oh, this doesn't matter. It's the government. We're going to be there for you. We're going to help you out. I'm sorry. I'm calling bull on that. That's not going to happen. You need to think about yourself. Don't rely on the government. Think of you and how you can improve and how you can make things happen. My granddad bought this farm we're on right now. We bought the farm. Of course, we paid a whole lot more than $5,000, but back in the 1930s, he paid $5,000 for 38 acres of land in his house. Of course, he built onto it a lot throughout the years. And so he had the goal set to pay his house off in 10 years. Actually, in 2 years. 2 years. Brad was 10 years. He was 2 years. And he said, I'm going to do it. And this is during the Depression now. And he did it. He sacrificed a lot to be able to pay it off like that. Now, he wound up with 2 jobs. Of course, both of them were part-time jobs. So he wound up with 2 jobs and working on his farm. And so that's how he paid his mortgage off in 2 years. $5,000. Take a look at what $5,000 means back in the Dark Depression. I mean, that was a lot of money for somebody. This is when people were working for like 25 cents a day. I mean, they were working for extreme low wages. So you can imagine $5,000 was a lot of money back then. All right, we're going to talk about, we talked about the pros and cons, and we've talked about should you pay your mortgage off faster. Let's dig a little bit more into the pros and cons of actually paying off your mortgage early. So mortgages can be complicated. Believe me, they are. So when deciding whether you should pay off your mortgage early, it helps to assess the pros and the cons of doing so. This way you can visualize the direct impact of this decision on your finances and your lifestyle. You can find all of this information right here at debt.org. That's DEBT.org. Now, pros of paying off your mortgage early. Number 1, you're going to free up your cash flow. Now, more cash flow can reduce stress and help you meet monthly payment obligations. Now, this doesn't mean go out and get into debt more by buying a fancy smancy car that's going to go down in value by the time you drive it off. Let me tell you what I do. I bought a new car once. I had nothing but issues out of that car, and the person that I bought it from, this is back in the 1980s. The person I bought it from was not Bobby Ledbetter with Twin City Used Cars. It was not him. It was somebody else. Nothing but issues out of that car, and Phil finally just took it back. So I'm not doing that again. I buy my cars, used cars, from Bobby Ledbetter at Twin City Used Cars. Guy cares about his community. And in order for you to have a really good build-up in your community, you've got to prove that to people, which he has done for years. And when COVID hit, he was out there serving the community, giving food to people. I was with him. I mean, we went to all of these different towns, and he was giving away food. Like for Christmas, I'll tell you what he did, the Christmas of the year 2020. He gives away this a turkey breast, and he gives away this big can of beans, big can of corn, and this big apple pie, and those Hawaiian rolls that everybody likes. He gave away that as well. So I got to be with him at those times he was serving people. This is the guy you want to buy your car from. Check him out, BobbyLedbetter.com. He's located in Gadsden. Smart move on his part. Okay, now, free up your cash flow. That doesn't mean you go out and spend crazy money, okay? You need to keep living. Let's spend a little bit more. Of course, you don't want to be a tyrant, but things you don't need, those fancy toys that are going to wind up tearing up in a few years that go down in depreciation, think about that before you buy something. Both my granddads, financial guys, and both granddads would always say this: before you buy a big ticket item, think of it, sleep on it, pray on it for 24 hours. Think about the consequences. What is that big ticket item going to be worth 10 years from now? Is it going to go up in value or is it going to go down in value? If it's going to go down in value, do a second thought on that, okay? And that's great advice. Okay, now, if you pay off your mortgage early, that means that you're paying less in interest, which is an awesome thing. This is a significant factor for most homeowners. Paying less interest on a mortgage lets you store that cash in an emergency fund or pay off other high interest debt, which is an absolute wonderful thing to do. Stop paying PMI. You can eliminate PMI once you've reached 20% equity in your home. Now, PMI protects the lender from default. So you should aim to eliminate the extra payment as soon as possible. It offers no other benefits for the homeowner. Okay, now let's talk about the cons of paying off a mortgage early. I can't imagine there are any cons, so let's just read on and see if there are any. Okay, con, you're going to lose your mortgage tax deduction. But look at the interest you're going to be saving. Like Brad and Larissa, okay, $100,000 loan, they 30-year mortgage, paid it off in 10 years. They saved over $100,000 on that by paying it off early. So I don't know about that. So paying off your mortgage means losing this benefit. Could mean a larger tax bill in the future. Okay, number two, a con of paying off your mortgage early could be you could earn more by investing. This is especially true if you have a low interest mortgage. Now, if you got a high interest mortgage, pay that sucker off as quick as you can. Now, the amount you spend paying it off could have been allocated towards investments, which could yield a greater return in the long run. If you're paying a very low mortgage, that's a thought. It really is. Okay, number three, you could use or hinder cash flow. Okay, so when you throw all your money into paying off a mortgage, there may be much leftover, and there may not be much leftover in case of an emergency purchase, like a car or something like that. But go to Twin City Used Cars, buy it from Bobby, even if you live out of the state. He's in Gadsden, Alabama, BobbyLedbetter.com. Okay, now before we close for today, start planning your mortgage payoff, your early mortgage. You've got to start planning it. Even if you're not going to do it for another 3 months, plan it now. Get yourself used to it. So the next step is planning how you intend to pay off the mortgage early. So the mortgage calculators are invaluable. They are an invaluable resource for visualizing a way forward. They can break down a clear path to follow and a realistic timeline. And it is absolutely true. Call a nonprofit. You can call the Credit Counseling Agency for guidance on approaching and planning your mortgage payoff. They offer free financial advice that will give you a much more clear picture of where you stand, clarifying your financial strengths and your limitations. Also, consider a debt management plan if you need help understanding your debts and organizing your bills. Now, again, this was a wonderful, wonderful website. It's called debt.org, DEBT.org. And this is, do it if you possibly can. Again, the only reason you wouldn't want to do it is you're one of those lucky people in the universe is only paying a couple of 2% interest per year. Maybe you don't want to do it. I don't know. And put that money towards something else, which could help you in the long range. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. You may find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. You can find us on the radio at icradio.media. And please don't forget the podcast, thenewscasters.com. It's a fabulous podcast where you're going to find lots of truthful folks, talk show hosts. You're going to tell it to you like it is. If you have any ideas for shows, some research you'd like for me to do for you, I would love to do it. Send an email to donna@donnasedge.com. That's donna@donnasedge.com. Thank you so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it.